On behalf of the Effingham County Board, I want to welcome everybody to our November regular board meeting. We will have a roll call from the clerk, please.
Norbert Saltweedl. Josh Douthit.
Here.
Tim Ellis.
Here.
Dave Campbell.
Here.
Chris Keller.
Here.
Mike Buzzard.
Here.
Doug McCain.
Here.
Sandy Rich.
Here.
Jeremy Daters.
Here.
Okay, roll call indicates a quorum is present. We'll rise for the pledge and remain standing for a prayer, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather and serve the people of Effingham County. Grant us wisdom, unity, and clarity as we discuss and make decisions. Guide our hearts and minds to work for the common good, and may our actions reflect integrity and respect for all. Bless our community and all those we represent. It's in His name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, moving on to item number 2 on the agenda, presentation of Sheriff's Award to Landon Huber, Sergeant Rob Brown, and telecommunicator Crystal Carlin. So, Chairman recognizes Sheriff Paul Coons for the recognition.
Thank you, Chairman. Not very often, once in a while we do these. When we have an event that happens that comes forward, where people perform above and beyond, and especially if it includes someone from the public. So many times we focus on reacting and policing, reacting to negative things. But once in a while, you have to stop and recognize, too, when the good comes across. And I appreciate everyone that's been involved in this, allowing me to tell this story. I have a Distinguished Act Award, and I am going to just read it to you as it's written. And this Distinguished Act Award is for Landon Huber. On October 9th, at about 9:34 hours, the Effingham County Sheriff's Office received a 911 call of an unresponsive male, Randy Huber, in Teutopolis. 911 telecommunicators gave Randy's son, Landon Huber, CPR instructions while first responders were en route. Landon gave his father chest compressions while waiting on EMS and Sheriff's Office deputies for several minutes. Upon the arrival of Sheriff's Office and EMS, Randy was transported to St. Anthony Memorial Hospital and later transferred to St. John's Hospital in Springfield, where he was implanted with a pacemaker and a defibrillator. Landon's quick thinking and initiative was a critical part of the successful outcome of the medical emergency. The Sheriff's Office commends you for your actions. And Landon, could you come up, please? I can't imagine how hard and stressful this would be, but to have to do it to protect your own family member. You're a brave man, Landon. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Can you stay here for a minute? Oops, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And what's so nice about this is Landon's father, Randy, is here. Can you come up with us, Randy, too? Thank you, Randy. And that's what makes this so special, is that they're both be able to stand up here with me. 2 more people. If I could get you to come up, Sergeant Brown and telecommunicator Crystal Carlin. What also makes this special is that this happened because the efforts of a whole team. The first person to get the call was Crystal, and the one who is trained to give these medical instructions. And then the next person to interact was Sergeant Brown, because he was on patrol and he arrived at the scenes. But the nice thing is too, is with the public, with Landon, this all came together. Crystal, I'm gonna read yours first. You have a Distinguished Life-Saving Award. And we give these at our office, but they don't come around often, because this is really the culmination of what we do, is service. In recognition of your significant actions on October 9, 2025, which you delivered medical intervention technique instructions over a 911 call to a subject to perform CPR on his unresponsive father. Your efforts were instrumental in the continuum of care, which resulted in the subject making a full recovery. Thank you for doing what you do, Crystal. Hey. I just wanted to hold your hand. Sergeant Brown, also, in recognition of your significant actions on October 9th, in which you delivered medical intervention techniques on a subject who is unresponsive. Your efforts were instrumental in the continuum of care, which resulted in the subject making a full recovery. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Again, to everyone involved, thank you for letting me share the story, which is the only, of course, part in it I had. But I'm proud of the people that work at the sheriff's office, and we also have a lot of good people in our community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sheriff, for that. The board also echoes that sentiment that we appreciate our employees, sheriff's deputies, telecommunicators, and of course, we love our citizens, and we appreciate their efforts in that situation as well. And like the sheriff said, that would have been a tough scenario for any, son to be put in that place. So we will move on to our next agenda item. We have kind of changed this up a little bit for those of you who've come to other meetings. We have moved our committee reports to the top in case one of our committee members want to, let's go on to item number 3 first, recognizing persons who wish to speak on agenda, non-agenda items. I did ask if there were anybody first, so I think I had that marked off, but at this time, we would take or would welcome anyone that wants to speak on the consent agenda items that are listed prior to voting on the consent agenda, because anything under the consent agenda that doesn't get pulled by a board member would be voted on with one vote. So this is the time, if you see something that you think you want to be in favor of or against or want to speak to, this would be the time you'd come up and do that. So is there anyone that wants to that I missed when I asked a little bit earlier? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to item number 4, the committee reports. And again, we've changed this up from moving it to the bottom of the agenda up to the top in case committee members wanted to touch on a topic that may be on the consent agenda. And then I'm going to roll that right into asking whether board members want any items to be pulled after we sound off on the consent agenda itself. So committee reports, Dave, do you have anything?
Just real quick, the shutdown's over, as everybody knows, but we still don't have any information on the grant. Haven't heard anything yet. Still hoping, but we may have to reapply for 26. We'll see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed we don't, but we'll see. The other thing I want to mention is that we did have $28,000 built back up in the revolving loan fund, and it's on the agenda here for a vote. The actual people here that are both of them here, the husband and wife, are here. So they're starting the new business, and see. I'm hoping this passes the board.
Put to good use. Okay.
Absolutely.
Norbert.
I have nothing from the Building and Grounds. However, with respect to the Tax and Finance Committee, I would like to pull the I-1 off for a little more discussion before we approve that particular action.
Okay. I'll make note of that, but I'll probably read it, and then we'll come back and pull the items. That way, everybody knows what's actually listed, and then what item gets pulled. But I have it noted, so.
I'm not familiar with how you're going to do this.
Yeah, well, it's new waters, but we wanted to try it out and see. So what we'll do is we'll read the consent agenda, and then I'll take any removals. But I have that noted. Anything else?
Tim's going to comment on insurance.
Okay. Doug?
CEFS has got a new home for a while to cook Meals on Wheels. We was in dire need of a new place. They're out here at Lakeland College's new outfit in the basement. They got a fantastic kitchen down there, but I don't know how long they'll be there, but they'll be there for a while.
Okay. Well, kudos to Lakeland for helping us on,
Yeah.
helping the community out in that capacity. Chris?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Jeremy?
I have nothing from reports. From transportation, as is noted in the consent agenda, we're sending the approval for the engineering agreement to IDOT, and as soon as they okay that, then they can start doing the engineering work and subcontracting, and hopefully get this transportation facility started.
Absolutely.
After so many years.
No, that's a process. Mike?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Sandy?
Nothing to report.
Okay. Tim?
Out of Health and Insurance Committee, we've been waiting, Vanessa who's our rep for liability insurance coverage, and we're part of CIRMA, for those that don't know. It's a co-op with many other municipalities and county governments in it. But our insurance did go up, liability insurance did go up a little bit, not as much as the average throughout the nation. The average, we were told by Vanessa, is around 12 or 13%. Ours went up a little under 6%, 5.95%. So we did have an increase of about $37,356, but like I said, very minimal compared to the national average. So that was a win.
Great. Thanks, Tim, for reporting on that. It's great transparency. Everybody needs to know, how that comes about and what the amounts are, so we appreciate that. All right. Moving on from committee reports, I don't have anything to report on any others as well, so we will go to item number 5, the consent agenda. We'll be approving the minutes, accepting officer monthly reports, approval of the bills. We have nothing from health and insurance. From legislative personnel, we have approval of a ballot question, congressional compensation suspension during government shutdowns, pending state's attorney approval. I will make a note that board members have the updated language on a hard copy in front of them, so it might be prudent to be thinking about pulling that one. Moving on to number 2, under legislative, approval of hotel motel fund requests, and how that will be, the resolution will, to approve those requests. Approve the 2026 NACO Legislative Conference attendance for County Board Chairman. Approval of the following appointments. 911 Board will be Brant Yoakum from 12/1/25 to 11/30/28. Economic Development Advisory Board, Norma Lansing from 12/1/25 to 11/30/27. Economic Development Advisory Board, Ed Hoopengarner from 12/1/25 to 11/30/27. Road and Bridge has an approval of resolution appropriating MFT funds for maintenance for IDOT BLR 14220. Approval of resolution appropriating MFT funds for payment of county engineer salary, IDOT BLR 09221. Building and Grounds is approving use of historic courtyard pavilion for the Nice List Christmas Show on December 14, 2025. Under Transportation, approval of the Farnsworth Engineering Agreement pending IDOT approval. Under Tax and Finance, we have the approval of the fiscal year 25 tax levy suggested increase for the 708 Board of $20,000. Approval of fiscal year CIRMA liability coverage renewal proposal. Approval of $13,400 disbursement of capital improvement funding for an F&C concrete invoice for health department updates. Approval of $36,163.46 for disbursement of capital improvement funding for Wright's Furniture and Flooring for our county building upgrades. And approve trade-in of the Dive Rescue side-by-side for purchase of a new side-by-side. Nothing from ambulance, public safety, or reports. And as Dave mentioned, the Economic Development Advisory Board has sent for approval a disbursement of $28,000 in revolving loan fund to Siegfried's. All right, considering the above consent agenda presented, do we have any items to remove? I will start with Norbert's request, as I told him I would remember. I-1, which is under Tax and Finance, which is the approval of the fiscal year tax levy increase for 708 Board, suggestion of $20,000. So that will be moved to Roman numeral 6A. 6A. Any other items from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull E-Echo 1.
Okay. Board Member Jeremy Daters is pulling E1. That will be moved to 6B, and that was the ballot question. Any other items?
M1, please.
Okay, Board Member Dave Campbell is requesting M1 to be pulled. That will be moved to 6C. Any other items? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the remaining items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion from Jeremy Daters. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Sandy Rich. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can I have a roll call vote?
Mike Buzzard,
Yes.
Doug McCain,
Yes.
Sandy Rich,
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Norbert Saltweedl. Tim Ellis.
Yes.
Dave Campbell,
Yes.
Chris Keller.
Yes.
Okay, the remaining consent agenda is approved. We will move on to item number 6, which are items that have been removed from the consent agenda for discussion. The first one requested was I-1. That was moved to 6A. That was requested by Board Member Norbert Saltweedl, so Chair recognizes Norbert Saltweedl.
This suggested increase of 20,000 would be appropriate. The only thing that I'm concerned about is that when we presented the levy, it was right at 4.9, and that kept it under the truth and taxation. In order to continue to allow that to happen, we'll have to take the $20,000 from some other of the funds on the levy, which I think could be done with the general fund. However, not having known for sure that we have enough money in the contingency, because the general fund is dependent upon, well, it includes the contingency. And so if the contingency were happen to be used because we've not totally settled the sheriff's negotiations with the union, we don't know for sure. So I would like to propose that we accept the 20,000 contingent upon being able to work the levy, keeping it under the 5%.
So you're just suggesting that a motion be made to maybe make this a proposed 20,000 increase to the 708 board's levy pending finalizing the budget on Monday. Is that something
Yes,
like
on
that?
on the 24th,
Yes.
we will adopt a full budget and the levy of both. And so this, I mean, if something happened that we could not find the money, then it would be a problem, but I think we'll be able to find the money.
So just so the clerk clear, the motion is to make this a pending approval of 20,000 with approval of the finalized budget on Monday. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
I have a second from Tim Ellis. Any further discussion? Okay, so basically what that means is anybody in the 708 world that's looking for this coming to your levy, it's a proposal, and we will finalize it on Monday. So I would, on the 24th, is that right, 24th? Yeah. Yes. I would encourage anyone that wants to speak to that effect to attend that meeting on Monday. All right, anything else on that? Okay, I want to go ahead and do a roll call vote on that since it is money.
Doug McCain,
Yes.
Sandy Rich,
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Norbert Saltweedl,
Yes?
Tim Ellis.
Yes.
Dave Campbell.
Yes.
Chris Keller.
Yes.
Mike Buzzard.
Yes.
Okay, that motion does carry. Okay, moving on to item number 6B. I think that was E1 that was pulled, the ballot question that was requested by Jeremy Daters. Chair recognizes Jeremy Daters.
Yes, that came out of committee with pending approval from the state's attorney, and he has graciously gone over the ballot question and reworded it a little bit to clear up some things and simplify a little bit. So the new ballot question text would be, shall it be the policy of Effingham County to support suspending pay for members of the United States Congress during periods when the federal government is shut down because of a legislative funding deadlock? And I would move to approve that ballot measure with the updated verbiage.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the updated language. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Sandy Rich. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, moving on to 6C, that was M1, which was the approval of disbursement of $28,000 to Siegfried's out of the Economic Development. That was from Dave Campbell. Chair recognizes Dave Campbell.
Yes, I just wanted, Mary and Ryan both are here, Spencer's, that are opening up Siegfried's, and I just wanted to see, give them a chance to talk a little bit about it if they wanted to tell everybody what it's going to be and when they think it's going to open and that type of thing.
Okay, you're getting put on the spot. If you are going to speak, you'll have to come up to the mic, maybe introduce yourself and turn the camera or the microphone on. Yep. It can be as brief as you'd like.
I mean, we were really impressed. They're going to, starting out, I think you said over 25 employees, new employees for the county. And
Yeah, so, well, we're hoping to be open up in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We're hiring staff. We've got chef, we've got bar manager, front-end managers. We're hoping to be open from Monday through Saturday, 4 to 9. We haven't opened up. Originally, we were calling it a steakhouse, steak and seafood. There's a few other restaurants that are opening up, so we rebranded before we were open. We're calling it a supper club now, which is traditionally fine dining, but at an affordable price with a more of a social atmosphere. So not a stuffy place for people to go and eat, but a nice place where everybody knows each other and a little more social.
And we always said if the food's terrible, the ambience will be amazing. And vice versa.
And just for those that weren't at the Economic Development meeting, what specifically are you using this revolving loan fund money towards? Will it help with equipment? Will it help with funding some training? What will it go towards? And
So we're going to put it towards a point-of-sale system, which
Okay,
is going to be
perfect.
Toast, and then also for booths and tables and
Perfect.
chairs and things like that. Those are things that we didn't really, booths and tables are a lot more expensive than we expected. And we're getting close to the end where we just need a little bit of help to fill in that gap.
Yeah, we got to have that ambience with them booths and tables,
well,
right?
and
So-
Right.
and besides the restaurant itself, you're going to have a meeting room upstairs, the way I understand it. too.
Yeah, so upstairs we'll have a
Meetings.
private dining room that can be rented out for meetings. It's set up so that we've got projector, we've got a screen, we've got sound system, you can do POS, not POS, PowerPoint.
Okay.
PowerPoint presentations, you can show, family
It'd be
reunions,
great
you can
for-
show pictures on it, you can, but it's just set up for,
Should seat about 50 people up to, so.
it'll be good for business meetings, luncheons, family reunions, those kind of things.
For those that don't know, do you want to give us a location, tell us where it's at or anything?
Yeah, it's into Topless 201 South Pearl, the old Designs Unlimited building.
Okay, awesome.
Green, you can't miss it.
Right across the
Wonderful.
street from me.
Yes.
Nice.
He knows where it's at.
Any other comments from the board? Okay, well, we wish you the best. We'll hold a vote here in just a second, but congratulations on your new endeavor.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
guys.
All right, thanks.
The only bad thing is, I wish we had more money to help them out with. That's all we had in our revolving loan fund, so.
Go ahead and motion.
Stay
we'll-
tuned on that, right?
Yeah, stay tuned. I'll make a motion that we do approve the 28,000 in revolving loan fund for Siegfried's.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Okay, well, I have a motion from Dave Campbell and a second from Jeremy Daters. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Sandy Rich,
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Norbert Saltweedl,
Yes.
Tim Ellis.
Yes.
Dave Campbell.
Yes.
Chris Keller.
Yes.
Mike Buzzard.
Yes.
Doug McCain.
With that said, have you got the paperwork ready? Okay, so if you could stay afterwards, we'll get the paperwork done.
Motion carries. All right. We will now move on to the next agenda items, because that is all that was pulled off the consent agenda itself. Item number 7 is approval of committee restructuring and the bylaws with those recommended changes. We left this without recommendation because I wanted to get you guys the final proposal with the changes recommended at committee. I think the board had an overall willingness to consider this and do this. We do think it's going to save us somewhere in the ballpark of $18,000 if we do combine these committees and reduce our per diem. It may make for a longer meeting here or there, but I think that our approach is that we don't need to meet 3 times in a week for 10 minutes if we can meet one time for, maybe $45 or an hour as far as being efficient with tax dollars. So I think that's the intent of it. If you guys will turn your attention to the finalized list that was presented at committee or was talked about at committee, we did make some suggested changes, and you'll see those there. Highlights of this I want to point out is that we will be eliminating health insurance and putting it into the new Administrative Committee of the Whole. The Administrative Committee of the Whole will be what was the Tax and Finance Committee and the Legislative Committee of the Whole. So Administrative Committee of the Whole will take on all responsibilities that Tax and Finance handled and legislative personnel. It's the nuts and bolts, it's the core topics, the core job that the board has, and we felt that that needed to remain at a committee of the whole for all 9 members to be there, to be engaged in those a little bit larger decisions that impact the county. So that would be called the Administrative Committee of the Whole. We've also changed a little bit the Building and Grounds Committee. It's going to be called the Transportation Infrastructure Committee, or it's proposed to be called that. And basically what that means is Building and Grounds and Transportation will all be in one. So we currently have its own Transportation Committee that will be combined into the the Building and Grounds. So that will take care of anything the Transportation Committee was overseeing, as well as the Building and Grounds infrastructure type things. The Transportation Infrastructure Committee will still meet the same time as the Building and Grounds, and the Administrative Committee will still meet the same time as the legislative personnel on the Monday, or the second Monday of the month. So we would eliminate that 3:30 meeting on Thursdays. Road and Bridge is unchanged. Reports Committee is unchanged, and Public Safety Committee is unchanged. So we would now have 5 standing committees. And then, as you can see on the right side, those other specialty committee or appointments would remain unchanged at this point. So normally I would entertain a motion. However, this is a large undertaking, so I will open the floor. I think it's proper for anyone that wants to make comments on this, support anything that they see glaring that wouldn't make sense to try this. My recommendation is that we try it for a year. If we feel like that administrative committee is taking on more than maybe we want in one meeting, we can entertain changing possibly, but really the intent, and I'll just say it is that I think that we have the ability to be more efficient. We already have trouble with sometimes this position as a board member. A lot of times people are worried about the extra meetings and what they have to undertake, taking away from family and those types of things. So we're trying to make these positions and serving the public in this capacity a little more, I don't want to say attractive, but maybe something that is a little easier for other members of the community to get involved with. So I think by reducing the amount of time that is obligated to these meetings, even if you do only have to come for 15 or 20 minutes, you're adjusting your schedule, taking off work, whatever the case may be for those that have full-time jobs. So that's really the intent of it, and at the end of the day, I think it's going to save some tax dollars. So I know we're always aware of that. So I'll open the floor for any comments, and then we would move into a motion to approve the committees as presented. And we would have to update the bylaws. And I'm fine if we want to make that into 2 different motions as well. So when we get to the bylaw part, I do have one that we've added. Did that get sent in electronic, or did we print that off? Okay. And I'll point that out in just a second. But does anybody have any comments on the committees itself?
If something's coming up, can we call a special meeting?
Special meetings can be called with the statutory requirement of giving a notice, but yes,
2
we can
days,
post that in the paper. If for some reason there's
Yeah,
something
posted
that,
in the paper?
yes, for special
I didn't know if you
meetings.
had to hang it, you could hang it up on the side out there.
Yeah, if we had a special meeting that needed to be called, then we would have to follow those rules. But that can, of course, be done at any time, and there's a process for that. Any other questions or comments?
Is there a description of what each of the committees are responsible for?
Yes, there is.
And I didn't see
And we'll
one.
update it on our website. I think we currently have them on there. We'll update those. Give Angie a little while to do that because it'll be a little bit, but we will get that updated. But basically, we're not necessarily changing responsibilities. We're just moving them into
Merging.
So those responsibilities would just be moved to that page and show what those are.
I just think that the administrative committee has taken on a lot of responsibilities, and it probably needs to be organized in a way in which each of those responsibilities get addressed, you know, because insurance comes up, and then the other things that we have to, legislative or whatever. I mean, I just feel like that this is going to be a pretty big move, but I'm not,
Sure.
I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, I do think that it's going to take a little extra time and work on our part, but I think especially, and kudos to these board members that are sitting up here at the table, they're definitely more than capable. So Sandy, do you got something?
I do. I would echo what Norbert just said, as well as yourself, that when I first thought about it, my instant reaction was absolutely not. But after thinking about it, I mean, honestly, we're saving a good amount of money by doing this. And we're looking at the public transparency. You know, we're still going to be able to get all of these ideas out in front of the public and do it in a way that's more efficient. And like you said, if it doesn't work in a year, let's revisit it.
Agreed.
But I think it's worth a shot for sure.
Anybody else?
I would make a comment about the county board representatives
Okay.
that you're naming. I would like to see a CIRMA UCCI position included in that list.
Okay. For those that don't know, UCCI is United Council of Counties of Illinois. That is a entity that we belong to. They give guidance on county issues. We just attended a meeting today. And then CIRMA is our insurance side of that, yeah. And are you just saying that you would like for the chair to appoint somebody with the responsibility to attend those meetings?
Yes.
Okay. Because they don't have, they do have a board, but that would be up to the board member themselves to want to be on that and run for it through that entity, so.
I mean, I've been attending those meetings, both of those, and I think that it's a good source of information, you know, and I don't always make a comment about what we might have had as training at those meetings, but I think that it's a valuable input to our being able to do things that we need to do.
Okay. Could I suggest that we bring that to maybe the first meeting, or you could bring it back to the December meeting? And just so everybody knows, this would not take effect until January, so it'd be the new calendar year. So we will still have one more legislative and personnel meeting in December, and one more Tax and Finance Committee meeting in December as well. Those are not going to be, those remain unchanged. So maybe bring that to the legislative, because I think that's going to be more involved, because there are going to be members that have questions about having a further obligation to attend meetings in Springfield and other locations. So that might be a tough ask, or maybe we take volunteer, somebody take a month, and we try to attend as many as we can, that type of approach. But if you want to bring a proposal that makes sense, that'd be awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Perfect. Anybody else got anything? Okay, let me touch real quick on the bylaws part, if you'll pull that up your electronic. And a benefit from our meeting today at UCCI, we were informed that, and Sandy reported on this at our last meeting, that they are changing the Open Meetings Act to allow for military members to attend meetings electronically or over the phone as an exception to that. But we do have to adopt a policy allowing for it. So if you'll look at the bylaws at the bottom, I think it's the last one, number 19. Well, mine's not got it at the bottom. Did you add one at the end, or?
Yeah, there's one under 19.
Okay. Okay, so does the very last portion say? Okay, so it should say, it didn't update. So what we're wanting to, I'm glad we're doing this. It's okay. What we're proposing is where it states, board members may participate in a board meeting by teleconference if he or she is unable to attend the meeting due to illness of themselves or their immediate family, work, or board obligation, or an emergency. We're going to add in or other exception allowed by state statute. The reason is they're about ready to pass the military exception, but he has not, the governor has not signed it yet. We found that out today, but he's going to. And instead of updating every single thing that the state legislator allows for that, we're going to put the catch-all in there that states or any other exception allowed by state statute. So she has the updated one on that, but it just didn't update on your electronic one. So that would be the motion that I would recommend on the bylaw change. So we include that new exception for military members. If they want to serve on the board, they can, if they're on some sort of deployment or an obligation for military, they're allowed to participate via teleconference, and they are afforded the same rights of voting and everything while doing so. So I think that's a great bill, honestly, but I want to make sure we adopt that policy. So if there's no, you have a comment on anything, or if there's no more comments, I think we need to get to the motion. Do we want to, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the committees as presented. The committee change as presented, starting January 2026. Okay, I have a motion from Chris Keller. Do I have a second? Second from Norbert Saltweedl. Any final discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries. Now I'll entertain a motion to update the bylaws to reflect the change in the committees.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion from Jeremy Daters. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second from Sandy Rich. Any final discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries as well. Thank you, guys and gals, for your patience on that topic. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 8, elected official reports. Madam Clerk?
Nothing to report.
All righty, Sheriff or Chief Deputy? Okay, I know Aaron stepped out to grab that, I think. Tammy? Right? Deb, Treasurer?
We had our second distribution of taxes last week. We distributed over 23 million, so that went out pretty good. We sent out our certified letters, which there were over 600 parcels that we sent out letters on. That's actually pretty average, so wasn't shocked by that at all. The next step will be publication, so if you don't want your name in the paper, please pay your tax bill by Friday. And then after that, we're into the tax sale, which will be next month. So everything's going good.
Okay, thanks, Deb. Pam Brown?
Yes, the House and Senate's been very busy with some exemption changes, which will affect our taxpayers, mainly the senior exemptions. So I would like to come to the Tax and Finance Committee next month and give a presentation on exemptions, because I think it's important for you guys to understand the changes that is getting ready to uphold. Good, all good things. But I just want to get on the agenda for that so I can give you some information then.
Great.
The governor has not signed anything yet, so I don't want to overstep and say that it's passed.
Okay, Norbert is the chair of that, so he'll make sure you get on there. Anything else there? Okay, Kim's not here. Greg, anything? County engineer? Okay, I'm not seeing anybody else. Angie?
I was just going to tag on to that committee, the new committees, just to let the department heads know that I will be sending that out to you all so that you have it, because I know you're going to be anxiously looking forward to that. And then when the board meets in December, since we had all those changes, you noticed I hadn't gotten the meeting schedule done, and that's because I knew of these changes. So in December, I will be sending through their meeting schedules for them to then be approving, so you'll be getting that meeting schedule then after the December board meeting, but I'll get this committee one out to you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, the only thing I want to say is I encourage anyone that's following our budget process and our tax levy. Monday's the big meeting for that, so I encourage you to attend if you want to put any comments in there. And the budget's still for layover for review as well over there in the board office as well. So moving on to the next item on the agenda would be public.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I just want to do a point of order just
Okay.
to make sure on the bylaws.
Yeah.
We do have to pass that by a 2/3 majority. I know we did a voice vote, but I don't know if we probably should do a roll call vote on that.
Well, we can. I didn't lay it down. I didn't lay the votes down because it sounded unanimous, but I was listening hard to see if there was a nay.
I'm good with
But
that
that
then.
is a great point. She is correct. Our bylaws currently state that any change has to be 2/3, but it doesn't require a roll call vote. So I was going to leave it as is.
good with
Unless
that
you're making a motion to lay down the vote, I can do that.
Nope,
Okay, perfect.
just making sure.
All right, thank you.
These committee appointments that you made, they're effective and through December, and so when we elect a new chairman of the board, then he will have the opportunity to do all new appointments. Is that right?
Correct. So the bylaws currently state that the chairman would make those appointments for the new committees actually at the organizational meeting, so that is in December. So, yep, absolutely. Any other questions, comments before we move on to public comment? Okay, not hearing any. Is there any public comment from anyone that wants to come up at this time? Yeah, Courtney, come on up.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Feels like good evening with the sun going down now, you know. First and foremost, thank you for approving the loan earlier in the meeting. I mean, it's a tremendous thing to be able to help support local businesses. It's going to be an amazing restaurant when they're open, or if you guys are willing to give a tour, you ought to stop in there and check it out. It's really coming together nicely. For the Effingham Regional Manufacturing Collaborative, a week ago, we did an update to our resource partners. We continue to work with them to gather data and build out that value stream. Had a really good meeting with Sarah Bush Lincoln earlier today as well. They continue to make investments in the communities. They serve a 10-county region. It's tremendous, the growth that they've had and what they're doing. Over on Maple, just shy of a 40,000 square foot building, $28 million investment here local. And then the Alliance, we've got our fourth quarter board meeting later this week on Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody got anything for Courtney? Okay, good seeing you. Thank you, sir. Okay, since we're at the public comment section, I do want to afford the opportunity, because I think there are some members here that would be interested in our closed session. We do anticipate taking action. I don't know if the media is still here or not, but if anybody, yeah, I think they were, but I see one still, but if anybody wants to make any comments before we go into closed session, because the topic is laid out pretty specifically what we're going to be talking about, and then we'll come back out, and we do anticipate action, obviously, on the airport commission position. So is there anybody that wants to speak beforehand, or just?
Is it possible to introduce those that have been submitted as, or asked to be considered?
I was going to afford them if they wanted to introduce themselves. I mean, I don't necessarily want to do that until we maybe have our discussion, and then we can come back out in open session, and prior to making the vote, maybe we do that, or?
Well, I mean, I just thought, when
Because
we,
not all of them are here, I guess, is my point. So I just thought maybe if somebody was here and wanted to speak, I'd allow them to. But since not all members are here that put their name in for the petition, I didn't want to call anybody out or give an unfair advantage there, so. Okay. All right, not hearing anyone, we will entertain a motion to convene in closed session pursuant to Illinois Statute Section 5 ILCS 120/2C1 in order to discuss appointments for Airport Commission. Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Chris Keller. Do I have a second? Second from Mike Buzzard. Any further discussion? Okay, that is a roll call vote requirement.
Norbert Saltweedl. Yes. Josh Douthat.
Yes.
Tim Ellis.
Yes.
Dave Campbell.
Yes.
Chris Keller.
Yes.
Mike Buzzard.
Yes.
Doug McCain.
Yes.
Sandy Rich.
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Okay, hang tight 1 second. Sheriff, did you have a comment on do we have any need for? We would have to have a motion, or we would need to include the motion to speak about that as well, so. Okay. Just so everybody knows, because it's not on the agenda, we will not be able to take action out in open meetings on it. However, it is allowable for discussion for closed session. So can you pull up the last meeting and tell me what that statute is? We need to identify it, and we would have to have a separate motion to discuss that in closed session. Stand by.
I would move that we discuss negotiations in closed session.
Okay, we got to get the statute on the minutes. And I know it was the same one as we talked about. Was that legislative or was that tax and fine? Okay.
Tax and finance.
Yeah, but at least we'll have the statute.
5 ILCS 120/2C2.
Okay, since you made that motion, would you repeat that for us?
I would move that we go into closed session to discuss pursuant to Illinois Section 5 ILCS 120/2C2, in order to discuss matters related to collective negotiating matters.
Okay, do I have a second to that? Second from Doug McCain. All right, any discussion? I'll need a roll call vote on that as well.
Norbert Saltweedl,
Yes.
Josh Douthat,
Yes.
Tim Ellis. Dave Campbell,
Yes.
Chris Keller.
Yes.
Mike Buzzard,
Yes.
Doug McCain,
Yes.
Sandy Rich.
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. We will convene in closed session. Okay, we had a motion and a second to come back into open session. I need a roll call vote to come back out into open session, please.
Norbert Saltweedl,
Yes.
Josh Douthat,
Yes.
Tim Ellis,
Yes.
Dave Campbell,
Yes.
Chris Keller,
Yes.
Mike Buzzard,
Yes.
Doug McCain,
Yes.
Sandy Rich,
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Okay, before we take action on the item in closed session, Sheriff, did you want to have the floor for public comment or discussion?
Very briefly, I wanted to discuss my budget. My vehicle line item is right where it should be. It's probably almost exactly, will be almost exactly on zero. But I need another car. I have money in the bottom line of my budget to purchase this car, and I'm going to do that. But it's going to put me over in line item for vehicles. But I want to be transparent of what I'm doing, and if it could be in the minutes, not that the board approved it, but that I brought it forward and said what I was going to do and why. I mean, the why is, you know, we brought on a DCFS officer, and DCFS is paying for their car, paying for a replacement car, so much a year. And we lost a car to a wreck. Now, all of that could have been taken care of, I admit, by good management, but I'm in a tight spot now and I need a car. Money in the bottom line, I'm going to buy one.
So basically, one item will show maybe overage, but you have an overage in another that will cover that.
That will cover it,
Understood.
yes.
Thank you for the update on that. Okay, after a closed session discussion, I'm going to call for a motion to appoint Doug McDevitt to the Airport Commission. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Tim Ellis to appoint Doug McDevitt to the Airport Commission, and I have a second from Doug McCain. Do I have any further discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none, we have to have a roll call vote on all action in related business to the Airport Commission, so I'll need a roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Norbert Saltweedl,
Yes.
Josh Douthat,
Yes.
Tim Ellis.
Yes.
Dave Campbell,
No.
Chris Keller,
No.
Mike Buzzard,
Yes.
Doug McCain, Sandy Rich,
Yes.
Jeremy Daters.
Yes.
Okay, majority is yes and in favor, so that motion does carry. Congratulations to Doug. He will fill out the remaining portion of the term that Tony Seamer's passing left for the vacancy. So we appreciate the process on that. Doug is here. Do you happen to want to make any comment at this time? Okay, thanks, Doug. All right, I believe that brings us to the end of our agenda. If there is any more discussion, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, motion from Chris Keller to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second from Tim Ellis. Any final discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.